Hi friends, putting this video today to explain login agent once again. I received multiple messages for my earlier video on my LinkedIn as well as on the YouTube channel that there are some questions which cannot be answered by my earlier video, and I think it is not clear. So I thought to put it an updated video to explain the login agent with more details and with additional visual aids so that it will be helpful to understand it by watching this video. Why I'm putting it again? Because login agent is one of the main or one of the first component which one should know if one person is working on Blue Prism RP implementation. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, I just put why I am explaining it again because of my earlier video did not, or at least for as per the listener, it is not clear. So I'm trying to put it into another way so that it will be easy for everyone to understand. So login agent, there are some uh, mandatory prerequisites for a login agent to work, as we talk about this in earlier video. So there are a couple of mandatory prerequisites as I listed on the video on this slide. Those are that a machine configured with the required security policies. So there are a few policies which needs to be there at the group level as well as the local level, which will remove the condition where system will be locked out in case if it is left idle for some time. Then every time we restart the system, we will be prompted with the control alt delete tab on screen, so that manual user can enter the credentials, but that is not required. That policy has to be removed because there will be nobody on the remote machine to perform control shift and alt button. So that is one of the another security policy that needs to be removed. And the another one is this user policy acceptance policy screen, that is also should be removed. And the second mandatory condition is that the Blue Prism supported version should be already installed on that machine. So these are the two main, or I should say these are the two only prerequisites for a login agent to work properly, or even before we try to install login agent, these two conditions should be met. So in my next slide, I have put some of the screenshots for the security policies. So if a machine on which we want to install login agent is configured with the proper security policies, so these three screens should not be present by the policy at any given time on the machine. The first screen is control alt delete. Second is locked screen, and the third screen is the user acceptance policy screen. So these three things needs to be removed as I mentioned earlier. And just so everybody know, I captured the screenshots from internet. So if something is there, so it is just for the sake of sample and just for the sake of explaining to the users. So this slide, how a login agent works actually, is from my earlier video. The only difference here is that I have numbered the steps, which will be easy, which will help me in explaining it in a better way in my next slides. This particular slide is same in term of steps which we have in my last video, just the numbering is different. So if we start from number one, and once any machine will be recycled, number two will be a login prompt presented. So in while going through the flow, think about that you'll restart your laptop, Windows laptop. So whatever the screen will be presented to you, and just try to understand it that way. So whenever you recycle your laptop, first screen will come is, if lock screen is there, so it will come as shift alt control shift delete. as I showed in my earlier slide. Control Alt Delete, sorry. So that screen will be prompted, and all the services which are set as automatic, those services will be automatically restarted at that point of time. Because login agent service also should be automatic. So every time we recycle the service or recycle the machine, I should say, that service will start itself. So what that service will do is it will start the login agent runtime resource. So there is a difference between login agent runtime resource and Blue Prism runtime resource. Login agent runtime resource is a runtime resource which will enable login agent. However, Blue Prism runtime resource is a resource or is a service, another service which will restart Blue Prism runtime resource, which will ultimately process or which will ultimately run our processes on the remote machine. So number 4 is starts the login agent runtime resource, and then as per the configuration, that login agent runtime resource will start listening on that particular port. Most of the cases it is 8181, I think, and so we'll stop here, number 5. So till this from number 1 till number 5, think about as I mentioned, think about your Windows laptop or Windows any other machine which you are using on daily basis. So at this point, what we'll be seeing on machine remote machine is, I showed in my next slide. In Blue Prism interactive client, you will see the lock screen, the second machine in the screenshot. That will be the status of the that resource in an interactive client of Blue Prism till number 5. We are just talking about steps 1 to step 5. So nothing has been logged in. The login agent runtime resource is just started. So the status of the runtime resource at this point of time will be this, that it will show a logs key or key sign in its logo in interactive client. And what will be the status of the machine itself? It will be something like this. So it will be showed this way, that it is other user, it will wait for somebody to log in or someone to run a login process. So till number 5 in my this slide, these there will be a key in the interactive client corresponding to runtime resource, and on the machine the prompt as I showed you in the slide will be there. So after this, what will happen is somebody from the interactive client will instruct or will drag and drop a login process on that machine which was showing us lock screen. At this time, login agent, it means number 6. Number 6, that we are instructing login agent to make a user login to that machine. So that is number 6. The next step login agent will do is it will retrieve the credential for that user depending on the process and depending upon the machine on which we run the login process. It will retrieve the credential from the credential manager from the window Blue Prism, and then it will try to log in, and on successful login, as per the default setting, it will kick off the Blue Prism runtime resource startup scripts. That is number 9. And it will start the Blue Prism runtime resource, and also as per the configuration or as per the documentation, the first step that will happen is that login agent runtime resource will shut down while Blue Prism runtime resource will coming up, and finally Blue Prism runtime resource will be ready. So from step number 6 to step number 12, what will happen is on your interactive client, the screen will show a solid blue as the first resource in this screenshot, that the Blue Prism runtime resource is ready to receive work. And during the time, it will sometime for momentarily it will show you offline while transitioning from lock screen to solid blue. So it will be the third machine. So actually, not to confuse it, I wanted to show the 3 status separately. So these are the logos basically, you can say. But how ultimately your machine will go is from lock screen, it will go momentarily to offline, then it will go to the solid blue. This and these three things happen on the same machine, not the three records as shown on the screen. So just to be clear, I just wanted to show the various statuses separately on the slide. So as I said, once the Blue Prism runtime resource, that is step number 12, will be ready to receive work, it will show you blue screen in the runtime resource, in the interactive client. So and on the runtime resource, this will be the screen which you will be seeing. That runtime resource will be run on 81 port, and listener will be started. And this will be, as I mentioned, step number 12. So once it will be completed, you will see blue solid logo in the interactive client, and on the runtime resource you'll see this kind of pop-up, and that listener is ready or started. So I recently started some other resources for this, so you can refer it on this slide. You can refer to my website as well as my blog, and obviously you can contact me on my LinkedIn. If there will be any questions, I will be happy to answer. And please do not forget to subscribe the channel and spread it over if you feel that it will help